This season preview is brought to you by Manscaped's brand new Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. This luxurious lather cleanses and nourishes in just one step. Using coconut water, green tea, and aloe, this non-greasy daily formula is naturally hydrating and rich in antioxidants to revitalize the look and feel of your hair. So head on over to manscaped.com and use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. The new Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner from Manscaped. Take care of hair everywhere.
Let's move on to our final team of the evening, or the morning, I should say. And it is the New York Football Giants. AJ, we're going to start on the offensive side of the ball here. We've talked about Daniel Jones and this being almost a make or break year for him with new head coach Brian Daboll. What does Daniel Jones' season have to look like to keep his job? The bare minimum.
I don't think this is something as simple as like what does he have to put up in the numbers category, because I don't think it's about numbers from anymore. That was what it was the first 3 years, and it still wasn't enough. You asked him to drop his turnovers. He did that each year. It came down from 19, I think, last year. From interceptions, it came from 12 to 7. From fumbles, I think it came from 19 to 7. He's dropped it. You asked him to get better in the passing game. Maybe not as much as yards, but his completion percentage is leveled out in the best way, and it's been jumping up about 1% each season. When it comes to Daniel Jones, I think at this point, and you can laugh, you can say it sounds stupid, he has to be the reason that good things are happening. Like, he has to be the reason that they win games. He can't just be a part of a winning atmosphere. He has to be the reason they win games, and he has to get this locker room and his teammates to believe that he can be their guy. Because if he goes out and he has himself a great season, let's say he throws for 3,500 yards plus, let's say he's back at his 24 touchdown area, let's say he doesn't turn the ball over in double digits or anything, but they win 7 games. It's not enough. That's not going to get the job done, and it's still going to have you looking elsewhere for your guy in the quarterback. You already have to chalk the thought process up that you spent a sixth overall pick on this guy, and it's very clear he is not your franchise, and he might not ever be anybody's franchise. But if you are thinking about a future in New York with Daniel Jones, first off, like, sit back down and think about it a little bit. But secondly, like, he has to be able to show you that he can be the reason that they can win games.
That's cute. It's just not going to happen. You're right. It's not going to happen.
Very fair. I believe that as well. But
listen, man, you talked about. I did like the way you kind of built him up, though. He's steadily improved on his passing percentage increase. He tries to do this, and he kind of does that. Daniel Jones he's had 21 touchdown passes in the last 2 years combined. 21. Ryan Tannehill had 21 last year, and he was the turd we just got done talking about. So. But just count them. I think it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 quarterbacks threw more touchdown passes in 2021 than Daniel Jones has thrown over the past 2 seasons. The Giants, it's got to be Daniel Jones, because I don't believe that Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Kyle Rudolph last year, like all these weapons of guys that have been productive on other teams that have been good players now come to the Giants and can't do anything. Yes, we can blame a little bit on coaching. Jason Garrett was the offensive coordinator. He's gone. But Jason Garrett also was the Cowboys offensive coordinator. They had a really good offense. So what is the only thing that's been consistent for the past 3 years? It's been Daniel Jones. And I'm sorry. I said this the other day. He's losing reps in practice. You just can't do that. The man hasn't thrown for more than 3,027 yards. That is the number of quarterbacks back in the 60s. Like when they was running the veer and had leather helmets in the 40s and stuff, they were throwing the ball for that many yards. So to me, you're right. Yes, Daniel Jones has to be the reason, but I think it's just a big waste of time for the Giants. Start Tyrod Taylor week 1. Try to win as many games as you can to be competitive so you can show a franchise's fan base that you are trying to win. And you're probably still not going to win a lot of games just because Tyrod Taylor's good, but I don't know. Maybe they can even get into the playoffs. Who knows, to be honest. But then you come next year, you find your franchise quarterback, you move up, you do whatever you have to do to draft your franchise quarterback and go from there. Sometimes teams have to cut bait. Sometimes teams have to know, hey, we got it wrong. Gettleman's not even there. Like, he's not even in the mindset of having this happen. So they just need to move on. They just need to move on.
Do you think they have a better record with Daniel Jones or a worse record? Like between Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor, who gives them
Tyrod Taylor easy. Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor might have the Giants in playoff contention.
So if I'm the New York Giants, I am starting Daniel Jones so I can bring in a Bryce Young, a CJ Stroud, or one of those quarterbacks next year.
No. See, you're thinking about it the wrong way. Because the problem with that mindset is you also get players in that locker room that are trying to earn paychecks, and they see that they have a better quarterback in Tyrod Taylor with a chance to win, and you choose to play Daniel Jones instead. That's fair. Guess what they're doing? Free agency comes around. They're all leaving. They're gone.
I get that.
Just trade up, man. Just trade. We've seen teams do it every year. Yeah. You want your guy, go trade up to get him.
I'm going to give a bonus question out here for this offensive side of the ball, and it may be towards fantasy. It may be towards just general football talk here. But, Aaron, you seem to be high on Saquon Barkley last night.
God, man. You just ruin the show sometimes with your producing expertise. That's my what to watch for.
Would have been nice if it was in the notes.
It would have been nice if you just stuck to the plan and asked the one question that's in the doc.
I didn't know that's where you were going, so I guess you were going to have to.
You didn't put it in the notes either. You just literally put one question.
I don't know what your what to watch for is in the notes. How am I supposed to put it in the notes?
No, I'm talking about the offensive question. You're asking another one. It's not in the doc. So when you don't ask that right away, I'm thinking, okay, what is my what to watch for going to be?
On the defensive side of the ball, Aaron, Wink
always trying to do extra.
Comes in as their new defensive coordinator, the former defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. What will this new look defense look like?
I'm worried. I'm worried with the loss of a Bradbury. You lose a Patrick Graham, who we've all talked about. He moving over to Las Vegas and what kind of presence he has in the locker room, what he's going to bring over there. I think it's really predicated on the young guys, though. We talked about a defense a couple of years ago. We're like, man, defense is kind of sneaky good. And then you go and you get guys like Kayvon Thibodeau. You got Dexter Lawrence already there and Leonard Williams. Azeez Ojulari is another year older, so he's getting more experience. The back end's a little bit of a concern because of the loss of a Bradbury. But they went and they got your boy Dylan's boy, Cordell Flott, or whoever's boy that was.
Cordell Flott.
But they also drafted guys like Dane Belton, who I really, really like at the safety position from Iowa. And then you got the Julian Love and Xavier McKinney's there. So their defense still has the talent. And I really like what they did in the draft for the young guys, but it's going to be predicated on how the young guys actually perform and fill into some of those holes that were left by a Bradbury and then obviously Patrick Graham. So they're in a tough spot, man. The offense, I think that with this team, their offense has been kind of the driving force of how this team has played and what their record's been over the past couple of seasons. Because I do believe they have a talented defense. I think they're put in bad situations. I don't think their offense moves the ball enough. They don't score touchdowns. And when you're a good defense, you can't really ever live up to your potential when you have that kind of offense. It's so hard because you have to be perfect on every single series. And we all know in the NFL, these offenses and the quarterbacks are way too good for that to happen.
What does Wink bring?
What?
What does Wink Martindale bring?
Oh, I was like, what is that what you call him, Wink?
That's what his nickname is.
I don't know his nickname. His name's Wayne Martindale. I mean, what
it's not even his that's not even his name.
Whatever, Wink. I'm like, who's Wink?
That's what they call him. Real name's Don.
Wayne Martindale gonna get on their ass.
I think you see a lot of what you've seen in Baltimore. They like to blitz. I don't know if they have the same personnel. That's the problem. In Baltimore, when they were healthy, that back end was, I mean, legit one of the best in football. Yeah. When you talk about who they had out there and Marcus Peters and those guys. So I think that he'll try it. But again, you have to kind of adjust to your personnel. You see this a lot of times with coordinators. They feel like their system outweighs the personnel. I think Martindale comes in and just says, hey, look, what do I have here? What can I do? Bradbury's gone. I can't leave this corner on an island. So maybe I have to roll some coverage to his side and blitz from somewhere else. Maybe it's just, again, different disguised looks or different schematics, but he's going to try to bring pressure. I think he's going to try to create a lot of turnovers. That was always big in Baltimore, creating those turnovers to give your offense more possessions. And trust me, this offense can use some more possessions.
Yeah. Let's go into the odds here before we go into Aaron's what to watch for. Well, you know what, Aaron? Just go. Just do it. Just do it.
You just go. You just be changing shit up just to be changing shit up. Listen, you wanted to bring it up. I know you didn't want to hear me talk for this long. I don't even want to hear myself talk for this long, but I do talk a lot. Anyways, Saquon Barkley. I just think everything's set up for him to be a huge success this year. Not because the Giants are necessarily a huge success, but the injury, nobody's really talking about him. Remember the talks a couple of years ago, this is the best back we've seen in, I don't know, since Barry Sanders. He's this, he's that. He's top 5. He's better than Zeke. He's better than Christian McCaffrey. Like all these, everybody like was praising him. And then he gets hurt, banged up, hasn't been the same since. I like the idea of not having the pressure. And I'm not saying he feels it, but where he can just go out and play and he's not really in the spotlight at this moment. He looks healthy. He looks slimmed down. He looks fast. I love that they played him in the preseason, the week 1. I thought like that's what they need to do. They need him to just trust the fact that he's going to stay healthy. And so as long as he's healthy, I think we see another big year from him, both running the football and out of the backfield. And I think it's going to be huge for Daniel Jones to lean on him. Like if I'm Daniel Jones, I'm checking down the ball to him 80 times this year because he's going to take some to the house. He's going to make plays. And I know that that's going to be protect me from throwing interceptions or fumbles that I hold on to the ball too long. So I'm really looking forward to Daniel Jones, hopefully exploiting that weapon and Barkley being healthy again.
And he's back in fantasy.
And fantasy, I'm all aboard. I think he's going to be a PPR monster. So 3rd round Saquon, I'm probably reaching in the 2nd round if I can get him.
Okay. All right. Let's go into the odds and let's check out our Saquon odds. He's at plus 1,500 for comeback player of the year. Thought I'd note that in there. Under 6.5 wins is a plus 115 for the New York Giants. And then over 21.5 passing touchdowns for Daniel Jones at minus 120. AJ, what's your locked and loaded bet for the New York Giants?
Yeah, so the only one I can believe in, the only one I can believe in is the Saquon. I mean, I want to give Brian Daboll some respect, and say they could get to 7 because of Daboll, but like, I don't know that I trust it. So you want to give me a lock on those odds? I do also believe that Saquon's going to have a great year. Hopefully he'll be able to play 16 games for the first time since his rookie year, and then that will help towards that. So let me lock in Saquon and be happy with that.
Aaron?
I'm not taking Saquon there. I think there's too many guys at prominent positions that can win it. Derrick Henry, Tristan McCaffrey, Michael Thomas, Jameis Winston. I'm trying to think of some other guys. Baker Mayfield. I think those guys probably, especially Deshaun Watson, maybe, especially the quarterbacks. I worry about that. But I will say I will take the under. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go over. I'm going to go the over Daniel Jones passing touchdowns. I'm just because he's I don't think he's probably going to make it, but I just want to I want to have a vote, man. I want to have
got to match what he's done in the last 2 years.
Remember the other day I said the same thing. Like, I'm rooting for Daniel Jones. I'm starting to get a little soft spot. Like, man, I feel so bad because first of all, he should have never been the number 6 overall pick. And so Dwayne Haskins shouldn't have been drafted either, but who cares? Like, Daniel Jones was put into a situation that he wasn't ready to be in, and it was not a great team to be a part of, and it's just gone downhill. So the situation was bad. So I just root for him to get better and have an opportunity. And I don't think once he leaves the Giants, he really gets another job to start. Like, I don't think teams can be like, oh, yeah, let's go get Daniel Jones to try it this year, like the Baker Mayfields or the Sam Darnolds have gotten opportunities. I think he slides more of into, hey, you're a career backup now for the rest of, into infinity.
Man, what a guy. Poor Daniel Jones.
What a guy.
What a guy. Aaron, I'm going to do what you said I'd like to do and add in a prop bet here and see if you guys are entertained by it. Kayvon Thibodeau plus 550 for rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Nope. No one cares. No one cares. Over under 7.5 sacks for Kayvon Thibodeau.
I wouldn't bet it.
Under.
Okay.
I would definitely take under.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Just wanted to see where we're going with that. Just wanted to see where we're going. AJ, the schedule for the New York Giants. What is the defining part of the schedule for the New York Football Giants?
Well, I mean, to me, it's just your division. That's all you can really control. And even that is going to be difficult for you because the only team I think you're on the same level with is the Washington Commanders. I don't think you have a good shot at Dallas. I don't think you have a good shot at Philadelphia this year. You might sneak one in because it's a divisional game, but other than that, I think it's just you trying to get the better of Washington and not be last in your division. To me, Brian Daboll has a project under his arms, and it's all about stepping stones to get better moving forward and building the block. So I don't want to call it a rebuild, but like this is not a team that I have a lot of faith in this season for a multitude of reasons. So they'd have to be one of those feel good, inspirational, look where they came from type teams for me to look at that differently.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. That kind of.
Tyrod Taylor plays, this whole season changes for the New York Giants. I'm dead serious about it. Tyrod Taylor plays. If they bench Daniel Jones week 3, I'll bring up that schedule one more time. Lose to Tennessee, lose to Carolina, lose to Dallas. Brian Daboll says, we've had enough. They bring in Tyrod Taylor, the Giants will have a shot at the playoffs. They have a lot of easy games on that schedule. Easier games. Chicago, Jacksonville, Seattle, Houston, Detroit. We mentioned Washington twice. And then I think they can beat Philly or somebody or the Vikings or the Colts one time. I think that they have a shot at the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs because they would have started 0-3 already. But could they rattle off and get 7 wins, 8 wins? And I do believe so. I think the Giants are more talented than we talk about. I really do.
So let's do this new game here. We're gonna do, for the first time, we're gonna do 2 record predictions per person. One with Tyrod Taylor and one with Daniel Jones. Give me a record prediction for Tyrod Taylor and give me a record prediction for Daniel Jones, Aaron. I know you got your handy dandy notebook right there.
I thought you fell out your damn seat.
So I have 6-11 with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Now go to AJ with Daniel Jones and come back to me so I can think.
I would go 5-12 with Daniel Jones, and while he's still looking, I will go ahead and put in a 9-8 with Tyrod Taylor.
9-8.
I just counted 9-8. 9-8 with Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, all right. I got 5-12 with Daniel Jones, and let's just break it down with Tyrod. Tennessee, that's a loss or win?
Nope.
With Tyrod?
I got win. I have win, loss, win. I have them 3-1 starting.
Okay.
I also have them beating Jacksonville.
How dare you? Why you got to bring that one up?
I also have them beating Seattle, Houston, and Detroit.
Those are some of the games I had him losing with Daniel Jones for sure.
Yeah.
How many wins do I have, Matt? How many is that?
That was
I have them
6, 7,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, you had 7.
And then I have them splitting with Philly and splitting with Washington in the division. Tyrod Taylor is that good of a quarterback in the NFL. He can win games.
He's getting unlucky.
People forget that he took Buffalo
stabbed in the lung. If he doesn't get stabbed in the lung in Los Angeles, we'll be talking about a different Tyrod.
It's so funny to me how fast people move off, like coaches move off of Tyrod. Like I even think about Baker, and I get it. They drafted him early. Like, I mean, he got a hamstring. And they were like, yeah, Baker's the guy now. You know, they benched him in Buffalo for Nathan freaking Peterman.
That was the one because the Buffalo, like, think about how that played out, though. It actually ends up playing out good because you get Josh Allen. But that's the one because everywhere else, Cleveland, I get it. The Chargers, I get it because they drafted young quarterbacks early to be the guy. They didn't do that in Buffalo. Like, Tyrod was the guy. He took them to the playoffs, and they just let him go. Like that was.
See. I don't blame the Chargers at all, except for the whole stabbing part of it. In Cleveland, I was only angry because I firmly believe that Baker needed more time, and though he had a fantastic rookie season. I mean, that type of season is why, in my opinion, he is where he is now. You know,
you can't do that anymore in the NFL. If you're the number 1 overall pick, you're starting day 1.
Yeah,
as a quarterback, you just can't.
Shouldn't have pussyfooted around it then. Should have just had him be the guy starting and Tyrod there to back up. Not let's put Tyrod in because Baker's not ready. Oh, all of a sudden he's hurt in week 1 or week 2. Oh, well, we were wrong. Baker is ready. Look how good he is. He took us to a win when Tyrod was down in the second. Like, you drafted him first. Live up to it.
No, but the thing is if you go back to if you bench Baker Mayfield right there, that fan base is all over you. He after coming back and winning the game and all that energy, and you drafted him number 1, you go next game and bench him and don't let
start from the beginning. I'm saying have him start from the beginning.
I think that was a respect thing because I don't know that they anticipated Baker maybe even being ready at that point, but I think it was more of a respecting to Tyrod Taylor. And let's be honest, Tyrod Taylor has handled this really well. The way he stayed in the league a long time, he's done a good job, but he's definitely better than Daniel Jones. I don't think there's a doubt. There. So
just protect yourself, Tyrod. Don't be getting stabbed in the lung before week 1. Protect yourself.
Always wear your chainmail, buddy.
Aaron, where do the Giants fall on our preseason power rankings?
They're not going to get up there because we all anticipate Daniel Jones still kind of being the quarterback. They're number 24, and as sad as this is, Daniel Jones is probably worse than that as a quarterback. But we put them at 24 because I think that's a sign of what we do feel like their roster has. How their roster is constructed, but they're quarterback away. And unfortunately, probably won't see that quarterback this year if Daniel Jones plays the entire year. So 24 for the New York Giants on our preseason NFL power rankings.